Their legacy live on through the animals. That's how we rocking. I ain't gonna say this or that about this or that, but I'm just
Oh
gonna
yes,
say
sir.
long live the gentleman.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace, them dog, man. It's a lovely Thursday night with the Bulldog. You man, how y'all doing tonight, man? We got echo. Still got the echo.
No, I don't hear
Nah,
it.
nah, ain't no echo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
I see you, Mac in the chat. Mac man, what's happening?
Man, what's them temperatures? What's them temperatures outside where y'all at right now?
It's about 30. It's almost freezing.
Mm.
You
40.
gotta have. You need to have plenty hay out, plenty straw. Um, shavings. Feeding them plenty flat fat. You might need an extra cup. Make sure you don't lose no animals if you don't got an inside set up for 'em.
Most definitely. I think I seen somebody buying some hay today early. I already knew what he was on.
Rooter Killers, I see you was out.
Yeah, I think this is about 10 degrees outside right now.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Motherfucker used to it, but motherfucker not liking it.
Yeah.
Especially especially in the morning time. What type of fat you advise the good people to use outside for their outside dogs with the shivering conditions?
Mm. Any type of fat, know, any type of animal fat. You could use cooked down fat like a lard. There's different things on the market that you can get, but if you're doing basic dog man stuff, you use the fat off the meat that you cook in home. If you clean your meat and stuff, it's got a little extra fat on it. Or when you cook before you season the meat or something, you can get the fat off of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You see it, animal shaking and shivering. The amount of food that you give it could be shivered off within what, less than 24 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna get shivered off. That's why I
Mm.
said, you might need an extra cup and a half. Add fat, a little extra protein. You know, you might need a dog house on depending on the environment you in. Location, you might need the dog house with the extra wall in it, so they go in and then get behind another wall. Your
Mm.
dog houses might need to be, well, ain't no might, gonna have to be if you in those type of tough conditions. You're gonna need some insulation, and if all else fails, you might just have to take them inside.
Mm-hmm. But for all that fail,
Yes, sir.
cause it'll snow, then it'll low key trying to slick melt, it'll ice over, snow back on top of it. Well, you'll be trying to shovel some ice.
Yeah. Havoc 360. I see you. What's up? I see you rooted.
Man, how many years you see yourself messing with these dogs? I know you can easily say it to, I guess, until you die, but
Yeah. Until I can't physically take care of them anymore.
mm. And then you picking out the nephews and the ones that really wanna.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably pretty much how that go. Once you can't do it by yourself, you really can't put it on the next person. You really have to be somebody who really deal with you or got to share the same love for the animals to take on your job or add your job to his already list of things that he doing to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. You definitely gotta have a drive and a passion.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That being tired that you ain't ate yet. That let me go ahead and knock this out. You look up, it's about 10 p.m. Still probably got something else to do. Yeah, you really gotta, you can look at it as a hobby or you can look at it as a habit. I damn don't want to look at it as a habit.
yeah, it's definitely a difference. It's definitely a difference from the hobby and lobbyers to the people who make it a lifestyle.
Hmm. That gear switch a motherfucker though.
Yeah, Mac Man said break it down and roll it up for the real one. Most definitely gotta
Most
put it
definitely.
in the barrel. You know what I'm saying? Big folk, big smoke for Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Big smoke for boys. Don't act like everybody ain't got their boys on their yard. Don't act like everybody ain't tried that Floyd. Don't act like them guys. Ain't got a legacy that needs to be applauded.
So, we gonna
So
work
man,
on
let me know something.
What up? What up, man?
what you smoking, soft.
Crack.
Golly.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
fucking. I'm just, hey,
About to say
hey,
ain't a healthy tooth in that goddamn.
yeah, Beth. I'm smoking Beth. What's going on, fellas?
Man, we cooling, man.
Man,
We cooling, man. This one of them cool Thursday nights, man.
yeah, man, just cooling, man. What we talking about, man? What's
What
the
you know
topic?
about what you know about boars? Give us some about boars. Have you had any experience with the boars, dog?
Nah, I done seen some though.
Yeah.
I done seen some. I ain't never had none before. I couldn't really tell you no traits or nothing, but I actually seen a 17-minute one.
Yeah. I ain't really
Yeah, back in the day, back in the gap, back
I
in the
ain't really
1900s. You know, uh, that's the only. I mean, I can't really tell you nothing about them. You got any experience with them?
no, I done seen a few, Um it was one of the rare bloodlines, what I'm saying, family of dogs that I really didn't run across to. And I can't say late in the game. I say my later, after
Later
I
years,
thought
yeah.
after I thought I knew everything. You know what I'm saying? And doing the history and research on the dogs, their family of dogs, this stamp. You know what I'm saying? Set in stone. And they here to stay. They got a couple more than a couple, notable dogs, you know what I'm saying? Champion, grand champion, and whether you got the boys line or the boys brand, you should it be a lot of positive results yielded from it. So I definitely don't
Right.
got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, me either. I know one of my Backstreet guys though. They like it.
Yeah, I
They
see Gravy say depend on what strand of boys you
the
talking about.
boys. Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah.
lot of
I ain't
people say that.
Yeah,
Definitely some notable families out there. Yeah, I sure like to you know, in the future
the
probably,
strand of it. You know what I mean?
you
You
had
know.
kind of went out.
Can you hear me?
Or did I go out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard both of
yeah.
y'all.
yeah. My man Tony. You know, he swear by it. You cross it right with the right kind of stuff, man. Or even if you have it, pure boys. You know what I'm saying? It's all good dogs in all lines, man. And R.I.P. to Floyd and R.I.P. to Mr. Boys. Legends in the game. I
Yeah,
want to
that's a
say that
fact.
first and foremost.
That's
I
a fact.
mean, they name speak for itself. I mean, shit, they legends in the game. Man, that's them two guys together, man. That's like 150 years worth of bulldogging, man. If you think about it,
Yeah, you are. You ain't
yeah, you
lying.
put both of them together, shit. That's I mean,
And then shit,
we, we all born to die. You know what I'm saying?
everybody
So
had
it's
that.
inevitable for everybody. Some people go faster, some people, they live longer. Them guys live to 80s and 90s, man. That's a good life, man. You can't complain about a life like
Man,
that,
come
man.
on, man. You gotta give it up to Mr. Floyd. Scratching the 90. We all better
Yeah,
hope we can get to there. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Most of us won't because of from diet alone, you know what I'm saying? The modern diet, and man, that's a feat right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting 90, that's big.
Man, that's a
Yeah.
milestone, man, that
Hey,
a lot of us probably won't make. I
come
hope
on,
we
man.
make it. I
Cause,
hope
cause
we
one,
make it.
Gotta
one
have
thing
that will.
one thing for sure,
Yeah.
so man. It's only one thing for sure. If you are born into this life, it's only one thing promised to you, and that's death. So getting to 90, that's a
Yeah, and
huge
taxes too.
milestone. You know what I'm saying?
Taxes too. They're gonna get that IRS gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? IRS gonna get you, buddy. That's the two things
Man.
you ain't gonna hide from. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
yeah, man, two legends, man. We lost, man.
What we doing with
I
the
just want to say, I want to say RIP to all the legends, man.
yeah,
Even the ones that we ain't even talked about on here. You know what I'm saying? RIP all the legends, man. All the
that's
dog
solid.
men we done lost, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Not just
solid.
these two fine gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? All of the dog men, man, that we done lost, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a piece of history. This, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So,
big piece of
We
history.
lost
yeah,
Big piece of history.
yeah,
we lost
absolutely.
last year. Who we lose? Banjo owner last year.
Yeah, Coy,
Yeah.
RP Coy, man.
RP cool, man. RP them colors,
Yeah,
man.
man. All the dog men, man. Even the ones my skin color. You know what I'm saying? RIP to them too, man. You know what I'm saying? We need to start holding them in a great light too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying? All of them a part
everybody,
of the game, man.
everybody.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Hey,
got their mark, man.
hey, so man,
Yes,
what
sir.
you what you think about the draw? What you tell? Let me know something about the draw
Oh
strain.
yeah.
What you
Well, I'll
think?
tell you this. I got it in my blood. I got
Okay,
a
then.
touch of it in my blood. And them dogs. The label on the dogs. They crunch. They got the crunch.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? They, real intense, strong animals. You know, um, most of them come black. You know what I'm saying? You got some of this, your buckskin and black mass and
Yeah, a
those
lot of
type
people
of
that like
animals. You
to
got your
cross
brindles.
it with the. They like to
You
cross it
got
with
your
the
brindles.
carver.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
People that like to
Eli
cross it with
Carver.
the
You know what
red
I'm saying?
board.
That's whichever one you want to call a car. The next one is the key. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man,
You know what I'm
hey
saying? To
man,
crank that car.
and blacks we trust. You know what I'm saying? All I can say is, it's almost it's
Yeah.
almost law to keep a black one around. And
Oh,
I'm
you
like
got
for
to,
I'm
man.
like I'm like Forrest Gump. That's all I got to say about that. But
Yes,
I
sir.
see you. I see you, Mac, man. He said respect to the people who took the dogs from both families and made them legendary breeders. You know what I'm saying? That's solid. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get pay homage to the people who had their boots
Yes,
on the ground,
sir.
making a mistake,
Yeah,
making the lines what they are, what they known for. You know, and continue to move
yeah. I
forward
mean,
with them. Salute them.
everybody got a little touch of that in their blood, though. What
Yeah, a lot of lines
the
ain't even
Boudreaux,
possible.
everybody got a little touch of it.
Which line would you say would
You know,
be which line would you say would be
yeah,
your rarest right now to get in
it's a
purest
very
form?
complimentary blood too. You know what I'm
What
saying?
you
It
say?
complements
What you
a, a lot of different blood. Like, but
what you say, Preem?
I said which blood you think in
go
today's
ahead,
time would be the hardest to get
Spring.
in this
I think we
purest
lost you,
form.
champ.
Nah,
Y'all can't hear me?
we still hearing probably in its purest
Connection problem.
probably ooh
I'm gonna go and say the boils because
yeah probably boiled probably the
I ain't
boiled
even hear what you
because
said, Supreme.
it
Can
was
you hear me?
I said which one you think hardest to find in this purest form today, right now?
the Bulls is gonna have to be the Bulls, you know.
I don't know why
Go out and come
my
back
shit keep
in.
breaking up.
Well, no, well, I don't know. A big fella can leave
Yeah,
back.
boy. Oh, what you say? Which one is the hardest to find today?
Pure,
Is that what you said, Pre?
yeah, pure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Erie. It might be. It's like a lag.
Probably. Uh. You say which one of them the ones that's pure? You can find pure because mine
Yeah,
breaking up, man. I swear.
which one would it be harder to find pure in today's time? A Bulls dog, a pure Bulls dog, or a pure uh Bruzo dog?
Eli or Bujo dog.
A Bulls dog or Bruzo dog?
Yeah, my shit breaking up. I'm gonna jump back in, man. My shit breaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of pure Bujo dogs all the time. It's really not hard to
No,
actually
it's still
find.
it's still a lot of pure Boudreaux dogs.
Shit, shit. The father to my dog, pure Bujo dog. Shit, whole time.
This is the hardest. I mean, still some solid pure boil shit out there. Just depend on where you looking.
All right. Well, most people know the characteristics of the Bujo dogs, but I'm pretty sure everybody don't know the characteristics of the Boyles dogs. Since you in here, big fella, would you care to share a few of the Boyles traits with the chat?
Oh, shit. Um, the with the boils mainly is somebody came in. It's mainly for the I use it mainly for the smartness. Um, the boils bolio stuff. It's shown that it has a lot of brain work. Like with when it
That's like
comes
a
to
that's like a smart ass tap dancer.
yeah, when it come to getting out of certain situations, growing up, it's been the Boyles Bolio stuff I seen that had the best set of brains, just in my opinion. I've seen Boyles stuff cross with just about everything, and more than half of the litter literally was better than their parents when it came to getting out of certain situations. Like they was better at thinking instead of just being on go, go, go and taking more damage. They would think of a way to get out of that situation and get back on top. So that's why, I mean, with me, that's why, I mean, I don't really deal with too many bloodlines, but Boyles is just basically in all of my programs. That foundation moving forward. A lot of endurance also, but mainly for me, mainly is for the brains, for the smartness.
How heavy them Boyles dolls will come.
Man, my shit breaking up like hell.
You can
No,
hear
Yeah,
me.
what you in the basement, so? But nah, but the Boyles, shit, you can get a 60-pound Boyles dog. Most of the Boyles dogs that I grew up with and still run today, they come between they come
I
between
know, right?
you know, oh, but they come between 30 and 47 mainly. I mean, I said 30, 35 and 47 mainly. But um a few will pop out of 50. You'll have a stocky 50-pounder, but not too often, but mainly 35 to 47.
Okay, okay. 35 sound lovely.
I say the average is about naturally chain weight. Naturally, the average is anywhere between 42 and 44. Naturally, for the average.
Shit, you damn near could say you almost say the same thing for the Bujo dolls damn near, can't you?
Um,
You might not get too many. Well, shit, yeah, shit. Cause look at Bruno. Till that's Bruno. That was a little stocky motherfucker. You would have thought that was a damn near a black Mayday dog or some shit like that.
I
Stocky
mean,
as a bitch.
most of the Boudreaux dogs I've seen in my lifetime, most of them average shit. Most of them about 42 on the average. You will
Mm.
get some that's like smaller, depending on who they coming through. Like a lot of the dogs off Maverick, a lot of the Maverick dogs was like in their low 40s. A lot of the Maverick dogs. What's that other dog? Not Skull. Is it Boss? I think it was Drew. I think it was Boudreaux's Boss. I think his name was Boss, that big ass black one. But he was throwing some heavy ones. He threw a few that was in the 50s. But it just all depend on which dog in particular they coming through.
All right, question. Could you work a Maverick dog like you would work a Red Boy dog?
Yeah. You said a Maverick dog?
Yeah, well,
I said yeah.
yeah, we just been the same. You could work a boy's dog like you work a Red Boy dog. You work
Definitely.
all the dogs the same, or is it some bloodlines that
It's
you
it's
have to
not
work?
it's not even that. What it really is, every bloodline carry the same traits. Is how they carry it. Every bloodline got a rear end dog. Every bloodline got a muzzle dog. It's how they carry the traits. That's why some people favor certain shit. Um, as far as me, as far as me, I like the heavy bred Jocko stuff. That got more red boy, like Grand Champion Luke Kane is extra heavy Jocko, and his style and like a lot of his offspring style, that rough, beat you up, drag you around. A lot of them dogs that's bred certain ways like that, they do the same thing. So just like with the Jeep Red Boy Rascals, certain shit about them, depending on who you get it, even though I don't mess with it, but seeing it in action, depending on who you getting it through, is certain shit how they carry certain traits when that blood is mixed together. So it's more about how that's something that's not talked about though. And to come to think about it, I don't think I never heard nobody say that. It's how they carry the traits because all the bloodlines carry the same traits. It's just how they carry it, how they produce it, how they use it. You might have like okay like the macho bug dogs. The macho bug dogs, the ones that was chest dogs, they would literally, a lot of them are staying there for like 1 or 2 minutes and then they'll go back to the head. It was a lot of siblings and half siblings and cousins, first cousins that was doing the same exact thing. So it's how they carry the traits. That's what it mainly is though. So
We got in here. Mr. Jones, what's up?
I'm gonna roll up
What's going
another one.
on? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, I think when it comes to traits, a lot of it comes down from particular dogs as well, and also the schooling process on them dogs. Depending on how a particular dog was schooled, it will determine his quote unquote style. Um, Especially if you got a thinking dog, and if he finds success in a particular way, that's going to be that dog's particular style. And then it falls on the individual. Then it goes to the individual breeder. If you like a particular style, then you'll find particular dogs within that particular line that uses or performs that particular style. And just like anything, once you start breeding particular traits or particular performance styles, you're going to look up, you're going to have a yard of dogs that have that particular style. I think the most common thing you'll find when you talk about bloodlines and certain lines are going to be known for natural air, physical traits. A lot of the red boy dogs are dogs that are naturally long-winded, naturally carry a lot of air. You can take them straight out the kennel and they can run all day. The Bolio dogs, they're known for dogs to be smart dogs. Most people say they're known for their smarts. RIP to the Godfather, a lot of the Eli dogs are going to be your straightforward, powerful, barnstorming dogs. So now those are traits when you look at wind, power, gameness, natural air. Uh, those traits are going to be most. I can say you can separate based. This line carries this line carries that. Now, as you use these lines based on these particular things, then you can now fine tune based on your eye for what you want in a dog as far as performance. Certain dogs will perform certain traits, but then kind of piggyback, certain lines are known for certain things in dogs. So it just depends on the individual particular dog you start with. You may get a Eli dog that's a front end dog. I may get an Eli dog that likes the back end of a hog. So, and now I like that back end style. And as I breed this dog, he's going to have a particular way of producing his traits and also what I breed him to. The dog I breed him to, does she come or does she have a particular style that those pups learn and and inherit. And also, again, it also goes back to the schooling process because I've seen dogs that when they were schooled a certain way, they had to switch it up and they had to work a certain part based on the animal that they were in contact with. And when they were raced, this is what they found success in. This is what they stayed on, this particular part, a particular body part of the hog that they own. So it kind of, it all varies. Like you said, bloodlines, particular dogs in particular bloodlines. So that's where, as the breeder, as the dog owner, you breed towards certain physical characteristics. All lines carry certain physical characteristics. I think more than a particular style. Um, because like you said, it'll be chest dogs, rear end dogs, head dogs, stifle dogs, in every line because of whatever reason. All that's gonna be in there because they're on the hog or you know the game that they're on. It may determine hey, your joke is not letting me get this, or if I'm on a more powerful hog, hey, let me work the head of this hog to keep them tusks off me. And if that's what his schooling process is, that's going to be the body part that he now knows or has been trained, not trained, but has learned how to work. But again, it's just everything, it just depends on when we talk about inherent traits. And again, somebody may see it from a different way. You have certain, guys that say, this line carries or works this particular style, but it may be based on not a family of dogs, but just a particular dog that they built their yard off of versus more of a entire bloodline. So again, it just depends on um, your eye, your vetting process, your schooling process, and what you want in a yard of dogs. I've heard of older breeders. All they want are dogs that work a particular part, and anything else, they really didn't breed into their program, and that's what quote unquote, it's just thrown out there for conversation's sake. They're maverick dogs. They maverick dogs work this body part because they started off with a particular dog that worked this body part, and his offspring, you know, worked a particular body part, and he had other outcrosses or other dogs within that same vein, descendants of this particular dog that worked the particular body part. So, like you said, it all varies. When we say,
Hey, Mr.
trait,
Jones,
when it comes to the trait, when we look at, I don't want to say traits, but styles of different dogs. But when I think about traits, I think more of things like I said earlier, is this line of, when we think about most of the certain quote unquote families of dogs as far as lines, they're known, what are their physical traits? Long-winded dogs, natural air dogs, powerful built dogs, smart dogs, heavy mouth dogs. Certain lines of dogs aren't known for heavy mouth. Different things like that. When I look at or think about particular traits of a family line of dogs, to like the Eli dogs, regardless of what strand is coming down from, not every dog, but most of the quote unquote Boudreaux dogs are known to have heavy mouths. You know what I'm saying? So most red boy dogs, especially we talk about not those early dogs, but as we come forward, as the generations, continue to grow, those dogs weren't known to be quote unquote a family of dogs you would get known or be known for carrying heavy mount. They're known to be supremely game dogs, their durability, and naturally long-winded dogs. Like Will said earlier, the Bolio dogs. Some people say, well, I'm adding the Bolio to get the smarts. Regardless of what style that dog operated in, I'm adding this in to get smarts because Bolio dogs, quote unquote, are known to be, bring the brains to the dog, to your particular dog that you're playing with.
Right. So, Mr. Jones, we could breed our dogs the same way, right? And come out with totally
Correct.
different style of dogs. And then
Correct.
if we, let's say, I I paid attention to the dogs before I start crossing them, I could go back and find the hiccup where I messed up at, and possibly correct it. Cause I might be the style that you got. I might be more interested in.
Correct. Correct. Or as say I pick up a dog from you, right, coming down off of Maverick, and you got grandkids, you got first generation down. And let's say you were in that time back in the day where people you can get dog breed directly to Maverick, or you bred a female directly to Maverick, and you've acquired Maverick dogs. All your dogs want to have, for the most part, a particular skill set or a particular physical trait that they carry because that one dog, which is the Maverick dog, is what you're focused on versus the next man that may get a dog off of Reno. The Reno dog himself may have a certain style that he works, and his kids may work that particular style or carry particular physical traits coming down off of Reno. And to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, we can both breed bitches the Maverick, and we can look up, you breeding your program 10 years, I'm breeding my program 10 years, dealing with Maverick, quote unquote, Maverick dogs or type bred Maverick dogs. And our dogs can be, I won't say completely opposites, but there'll be things where you can look at my Maverick stuff and you won't see them in your Maverick stuff. Vice versa, there'll be things in your Maverick dogs that you won't see in my Maverick dog. Kind of like when y'all speaking about earlier. You may breed the Maverick and the quote unquote bigger ones, maybe the good ones that you get. So now your genetic gene pool, you're looking at that 42, 48, the bigger side of the dogs. I may breed the Maverick, and the good ones I get may be 32, 34, 35 on the lower end. And now the good ones I got. So when I start breeding my good ones, I'm genetically breeding on a smaller size dog. Like you say, we have the same blood, but your shit averaging 45 pounds. My shit's averaging 35, 38 pounds. So, that's where it comes to not only the individual dog that we are both breeding down from or having descendants down from, is also the dog you get that you decide to focus on moving forward, as well as your eye and what you're choosing to move forward with as well. So, that's when we start talking about, because there are some Bolio dogs that are heavy mouth. I think the Rick Rude dog, they talk about how, he was a heavy mouth dog. So if I had a bunch of Rick Rude dogs and I'm looking at, okay, Rick Rude had this crazy mouth, I only want my Rick Rude stuff to have this crazy mouth. You get some, just throw some whoever dog, and your stuff ain't known for heavy mouth, but we both got Bolio dogs. But my stuff is carrying heavy mouth. Your stuff isn't carrying that same level of mouth. You know what I'm saying? So it also depends on when we're talking about, like, you got people like, you got the Patrick dogs. It ain't really a particular dog. It's just Patrick with different Bolio dogs. But all of them go back to Bolio. Or Floyd, you got quote unquote Boudreaux dogs because you got Floyd Boudreaux dogs. It could be Maverick, Reno, Skull, Jack 2, different dogs that Mr. Floyd produced versus somebody that got Mayday dogs. Mayday was the focus, and not, you don't got Victor dogs. You got Mayday dogs, or you got Jeep dogs. You don't have Crenshaw dogs. You got Jeep dog because Jeep was the focus, and everything came down through Jeep. Versus with Mr. Floyd, you had dogs that came down through. You got Bullets and Junior, the different directions they went. You got Maverick dogs, you got Reno dogs, so they're pretty much just Boudreaux dog because he didn't focus on just one dog, and everything came down through that one dog. So that also adds to that variation when we start talking about traits that quote unquote certain families of dogs may carry as well.
Man, which line started first? The Bujo line or the Boyles line?
Boudreaux. I
Bujo
mean,
line started
everything.
first.
Because I mean, that's why a lot of people recognize him as the godfather of the game, and that's why I put that question out there. If you look at the Eli Spook breeding, you had Brendy, you had Bullison Jr., and you had Bullison Jr. Who all came out of that breed? Bullison Jr. But Bullis, hold on, you gotta cut that breed. Hold on. Let me pull it up right quick. But pretty much, if you look at a lot of dogs that we feed outside of, say, for the red boy dog, most of that stuff goes back based on what's on paper. A lot of that stuff goes back to Kobe dogs. But if you look at a lot of strains of dogs out here today, a lot of that stuff goes back to the Eli dog. When we talk about G, Bullison, Eli, you know what I'm saying? Think about all the honey bunch dogs, and think about all the families of dogs that's come down from just honey bunch. When we look at the rascal dog, look at all the different families and lines that came down from rascal, which is just Eli or quote unquote, those family of dogs. So that's why I put that question with the Eli Spook breeding. Was that the most influential breeding? Because there been more influential dogs. Some people say Dabo because pretty much everything is Dabo or Kobe. Some people say the Kobe Dime dog because he's the most prominent dog when we talk about Mr. Kobe and his dogs and the different dogs that came down from that. But when we look at a lot of dogs today, when we look at everything Ronald Boyles, RP, he had, it went back to not everything, but a lot of those dogs went back to Eli. The Eli dog in the quote unquote Boyles dogs. There would be no Boyles dogs without that Eli mix in there. When you look at Grand Champion Art, I think Art is a descendant of coming down off that family tree. So, I mean, we can pull up a lot of families of dogs. Our favorite dog, and that Eli dog is back there somewhere. So, that why, a lot of people recognize him as the Godfather because a lot of shit goes back to Mr. Floyd or that particular breeding.
Okay.
That's a
Mr.
fact.
Reese, even when you look at the Chinaman dog, look at everything Floyd has built, Thomas built. Even today, I was watching the video, he referred to his dogs as Eli dogs. Even though we look at all the historical names or the world-class dogs he produced, he always has signified, not always, but most of his dogs, lets it be known they're Eli dogs. Even in 2025, he'll say these dogs are Eli dogs. And he's produced grand champions and champions, and even with the Frisco dog, the Chinaman dog, he still talks about that Eli genetic. And we look at the empire or the legacy that he has built still today, he still talks about the Eli dog. And look at the legacy he's put forward and the great dogs he produced. It all goes back to the Eli Carver Cross, which made Chinaman. And again, even with Mr. Crenshaw, not Crenshaw, Mr. Carver, a lot of his dogs outside of Mr. Ed Crenshaw, which a lot of the dogs had the Ed Crenshaw stuff in it. A lot of them dogs are coming down from the stuff Mr. Floyd put together. We talk about the spook dog and those particular dogs. It all goes back to him. Like when we look at even with Bobby Hall, the bullets and stuff he used. You know what I'm saying? So it all goes back to Mr. Floyd and that particular breed between Eli and the Spook bitch.
Gumbo, I see you in the building. What's up?
Yeah, that spook breeding was set the
What's
standard.
good with it, Phil?
What's good? What's up?
Who that?
Yeah. Out there with these
AOQ?
little hounds.
The thing about this, even with the Bulletin dog, you got the Honey Bunch stuff, you got the Midnight Cowboy stuff. The Midnight Cowboy stuff on paper gave us the Shorty Cowboy dog and that family of dogs. The Honey Bunch dog, it goes that shit. It goes without saying. Um, when we look at Honey Bunch, even when you look at our brothers at the south of the border, they say, quote unquote Mexican Eli dogs. Look at the Cardino dogs and all those great dogs down there that are coming down off quote unquote the Eli dog. So I think Black Rock got a grand champion they call Bullets. You know what I'm saying? So just a homage back to a lot of the dogs that set this shit in place.
Who that? Yeah,
Um,
Max say all Floyd dogs ain't Eli dogs. Yeah, that's a fact.
no, all of them are not, but a lot of them are. Like you can think of any dog that you could think of, and I think if we name 10 dogs, I bet you over half of them, I wouldn't say half of them, but a lot of them will go back to Eli or something in some form of fashion.
Boudreaux's J Lo.
Who you
The
say,
great,
Brujo J Lo?
Yep, J Lo.
Rudy Killer say Eli Bowles. Yeah, I can go there too.
even when we talk about Tab Dog, still talking Honey Bunch. You know what I'm saying? You're still talking based on paper. And I keep saying that because we all know, you
Oh.
know, you know. But we'll just take Honey Bunch out because of, we'll just take her out of we'll take her out of it. But you know,
Yeah, I think that Eli Strand going back to that Dabo is a undeniable backbone.
yeah,
The traits are what they are for a reason. And now in this day and age, they set in stone. If you know, you know,
yeah,
if you don't, that's on you.
yeah. I mean, it's either gonna go back to it's gonna either go back to Dabo or the Kobe dogs. Everything
Yeah.
goes back to that. You know what I'm saying? Everything goes back to either Dabo something, or it's gonna be Kobe. Not all, but for the most part. Because there are some dogs that don't have Dabo, more some historical dogs that don't have Dabo, are coming quote unquote coming down from Kobe.
Hmm.
There are some strands out there, but when we talk about the game and what it is, those, the Kobe dogs and that Dabo dog kind of set everything in place for the most part.
Hmm.
Like I said, we can just go down the ROM list that's out there and just look at the dogs and look at their pedigrees and go back and it's undeniable. We talk about performance and we talk about production.
I
Say,
agree.
John.
Yes, sir.
So coming from your experience, what I'm saying, I know I came in kind of late, but what hound coming down, what I'm saying, from the Eli blood, what I'm saying, you think produced the best?
Ooh, the best.
Yes.
My personal experience, the Maverick stuff. But again, that's just my limited experience because I haven't played with a lot of Reno and the different dogs from the Bujo stuff. My most experiences with the Maverick stuff. Maverick, Skull Scream, Jack, two of them dogs. That particular group of dogs. Like the Reno dog. Even though the Reno may be down for some of that stuff, but he's still different than these individual dogs. Even like the Sprocket and the newer dogs, I really have a lot of experience. with the newer, I ain't gonna say up to today's dog, but like say 10 years ago, the Boudreaux dogs that were out there, people were breeding to. Um, I don't have a lot of experience with them. Like the Midnight Cowboy stuff, I never owned or dealt with enough Midnight Cowboy dogs to say Midnight Cowboy stuff is better than this, that, and the other. It's just it just depends on what you really got experience with to say which one is better than the other. Now we can look at numbers and say, well, this dog produced this many champions or yada yada yada, go off the stats. But then you still talking personal preference. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I've had compared with the Maverick stuff. If I can say, okay, which strand of Boudreaux dog, if you pick one today and deal with today, it'll be stuff coming down off that Maverick tree.
Gotcha.
Just from my limited experience with Boudreaux dogs.
Okay. Understandable.
Yeah,
I liked that dog. Who had that animal? Oh yeah, Phil and them that Raging Cajun dog off that Floyd stuff.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Say like somebody had a lot of experience with the Epinette family of dogs, they're gonna feel like those dogs, were better than XYZ. You know what I'm saying? It just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you're
I think
talking to
they
somebody,
had all that top names that you named, the Maverick Skull
yeah,
and the Midnight Cowboy.
yeah. Now if
All,
you're talking to
all
somebody that's been in the game for, 30, 40, 50 years, they probably seen, or somebody that dealt with Boudreaux dogs, they can probably tell you, okay, I had just about every strand of Boudreaux stuff. Now they can give a more educated, to say, hey, this is that, based because the fact that they've had numerous, and you got people out there that's all they dealt with were Boudreaux dogs. You know what I'm saying? And they can probably give a better, analysis on, hey, based on this was better than this brought this didn't bring this, and that would be more of
yeah,
a concrete or more, more substantial
yeah,
opinion on
yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But I mean, the legacy that was put down, I mean, all that shit, good shit. You know what I'm saying? All
Yeah.
that shit, good shit. The old man wouldn't. You really couldn't say the old man had a whole bunch of trash dogs. Yes, there was some that didn't work out. Talk about individual dogs, but as a family of dogs, I mean, shit, it don't get no better. You know what I'm saying? They just look at the dogs that have grew off that tree. Even when we talk about like Arts Missy, you know what I'm saying? Even though she's not a Boudreaux dog, but you do got Boudreaux Gypsy in there, the breeding that was made to make her great granddaddy. So you still got the old man touching it some kind of way.
Yes, sir.
And we all know, Boomerang being her brother, the type of dog he was. So, he touched a lot of a lot of. The old man got his fingerprints everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's undeniable. His fingerprints are. He's in the pedigree of your favorite breeder's favorite breed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
His acknowledgments and the pedestal people put him on. He's one of those. I think we had a conversation about legends, what you call a legend. When his name is brought up, it's not even a conversation or question. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
That shit is pretty much anything strong in concrete. What that thing Wolverine had is melting him. Any animal, that's what he is. You know what I'm saying? That shit is unbreakable. That shit is unbreakable.
Knowing that the old man, was like an hour and a half away from me, I never did really deal with Eli dogs. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. But I mean, even if you dealt with, Well, yeah, because Eli, I mean, Rascal Dogs, you can pretty much say Eli. Even when you break down the different strands of coming down from the Rascal, you talking Pedro or you know, the stuff. I think Mr. Old Man Hoffman, he had some of his dogs with some coming down from the Pedro stuff, Snake Man, the Mosley stuff, the Wood stuff. Don Brock, he'd use a lot of Rascal Dogs and his Jeep Cross. His family dog was a Jeep Rascal Cross. So, just a Rascal Dog himself, when we look at, the crosses that he touched.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a quote unquote Eli man, if you had Rascal Dogs, you had Eli Dogs. Well, Eli was in your dog. I'll say that. Also, you have Eli dog, but Eli was in your dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Back in the early '90s, so that was always a Jeep Chinaman, man.
yeah. And then eat shit. When it come to Chinaman, I mean, he right there. Anything on Bulldog Hill, you gonna be Eli something. You know what I'm saying? Outside the Red Bull stuff, he got up there. Everything that's up there is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eli. So like I said earlier, I watched the video today. He refers his dogs as Eli dogs. Or not necessarily refer to Eli dog, but he'll talk about the Eli traits and the Eli genetics and how he's captured and keeping it that as the main focus, the Eli dogs, the Eli strands and different things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gumbo, you say you never really dealt with the draw stuff.
No. I was always on the other side of the river with the Jeep and the Chinaman, man.
Rudy said, question for the panel, how do you like your Eli crosses? I think the ones I had, I loved them. When you cross it the right way, I think that's when you hit the jackpot.
Yep. I've seen a lot of good Chinaman dogs crossed into rascal stuff. I've seen a lot of good dogs that Chinaman rascal cross. I've seen some good Chinaman Mayday dogs. Make Chinaman stuff on the bottom with the Mayday stuff on the top that produce some solid animal. Like when you look at the Chinaman dog, bottom side, you got Bullison right there. You got Eli Jr. right there. You got, so I mean, he's prominent, you know, in the Chinaman dog.
I had a few Eli crosses. I say I like my last one more than I like the one I got now. The last one was Midnight Niggerino, female. I ain't have her really too much long. She was a nice one. She was built like a male.
I think the cross is the way to go. If you have any doubts in the Eli, you know. Some people look at the scrub dog and things of that nature, and some of the wins and losses of it and get a little bit shell shock from it. So you put you a couple crosses in there, take some of the worry out.
Mm-hmm.
Max say even the red boy had some Frisco in the bottom of it, so Garner's red boy had Eli in it. That's a fact. He everything mostly he done hit with some of that Frisco in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he put his stamp on it, and no, that's true. He called it purifying the blood, it's straightening it out a little bit. I can't go against him. He been doing it for many moons, so Mr. James, would you rather have a pure Eli family dog or a pure Boys family dog?
Woo, Eli. I go with Eli.
What about you, Preem?
Man, seeing as that I done dealt with some Eli dogs, I probably try my hand with the Bulls, knowing that they come from the right family.
Right.
And I mean, shit, that's all these lines. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, if I had to choose, it'll be the Eli stuff coming down through the Maverick dog.
Mm-hmm.
Not just say Eli, but coming down from the Maverick stuff, because the Eli stuff could be Bobby Hall dogs, because shit, a lot of his shit was coming down off of Bullets. That could be, Mr. Clemens stuff. So again, which strand of the Eli dog are we talking about? Because even with the 6-bit stuff, if I'm not mistaken, that's coming down from Mr. Clemens. Got a lot of his dogs from, not a lot, a lot of his dogs from the old man too. So we always got to look at when we say Eli dogs, we got to tighten up a little bit and say, okay, which strand of Eli dogs we talking about?
Yeah, because it's a couple different veins. They all coming off Eli, but it's a couple different veins, different.
Yeah. Do you want bullets in? Do you want, what I'm saying? The different
Yeah,
dogs.
that's a
So
fact.
it all
I
depends.
think
It
I'll
all
go.
depends.
I'm gonna go Eli too, and Boys a 3-way cross. I might make me some Eli crosses and try to create me a Boys 2.0 line, or something
And then
similar.
because the ball stuff is got the different stuff in. You got the Bolio in there, you got the Eli in there, you got the other stuff in there. When you start talking about breeding it, now you got so many strains, you got so many bloods in there.
Ding
Now when
ding
you talk
ding
about
ding 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 ding
tightening
ding
up on
ding ding.
something, when you start talking about tightening up on something, and I don't want to use the word purifying something, but locking in something.
Locking in.
Now I'm trying to catch a raindrop in my hand or in a spoon versus with this Eli stuff. I'm looking at a wider, a bigger spoon I'm catching raindrops in because it's pretty much it's Eli. And at some point, all whether it's Maverick, whether it's whoever, it all comes back to Eli. So I got a common ancestor there for that shit to catch versus with the ball stuff. Am I catching more of the Bolio trace? Am I catching more of the Eli trace? Am I catching more of these traits as I'm coming forward? And who do I lock in on? So
Hey, so what you think about this, Mr. Jones? Based off what you just said, in the country would be with the cross, like the Boys cross and any 3-way, 4-way cross. If you
mm,
know the dogs and the dogs behind it and what trace you just captured with the individual of your choosing, um, the 4-way cross allows you to go any way that you want to. You feel me?
it does.
To
It
capture to
does.
capture whatever you want to. You could
Correct.
you could take a 4-way cross and just say if you got a female, you can breed her to 4 different males and start almost 4 different lines based off that one female and different males. You know what I'm saying? Based off of different point. You bred each 4 times is was leaning towards a different element in that cross.
Correct. But then I also look at if I say, hey, I got my boil stuff. Let's say we're dealing with the rich. Let's say we can take ourselves back to not necessarily the beginning, but back with the early dogs, right? A lot of stuff coming. Let's say stuff coming directly off of Dirty Mary, coming off of Chief, Bobby Jr., right? We know you got the Bulls in there, you got the Eli in there, you got the Hank dog in there. So now, as I'm breeding it, I may take my stuff back to the Hank stuff, but I'm still trying to catch Hank. Got to fight against the Bolio stuff in there, and Hank fighting against the Eli stuff in there. Versus if I'm running Eli dogs, I can go to any Eli ancestor, and I ain't fighting against nobody else. It's all gonna line up with Eli. So yeah, you're right. I can go different directions with that three-way cross or four-way cross, but I'm still I got more chances to miss now. I really got to do a lot of breeds to make sure I catch what I need to catch. If I'm breeding towards the Hank, if I'm breeding towards the Bolio, if I'm breeding towards the Eli, versus I've got this one dog I'm focusing on, which is the Eli dog himself. That's my main focus. So now I'm just dealing with different descendants off of Eli, and all that shit gonna line up, and I got a better chance of catching higher percentages versus with the bulldog.
That's a fact.
So
That's a
when you start
fact.
talking, that's why we look at a lot of great match dogs didn't make great producers, because a lot of great match dogs might have been a three-way cross, might have been a four-way cross. So now when I breed this match dog, I got to breed enough of his offspring to know, okay, which side of now he may throw me certain physical traits, but when we start talking about locking it in, moving forward, is my particular three-way cross. I may breed towards the red boy in him, but that ain't what I need to be breeding towards. I ain't gonna find that out till I put enough of him on the ground. Like, all right, breed him to this red boy shit. This ain't it. Now I got to breed to the other part of him. I may do 3-4 breedings. Got to put dog. That shit ain't working either. Then I breed this other way. Okay, I should have been breeding this way the whole time, but I'm not gonna know that until I breed to each individual strand in him. Just hypothetically speaking. You know what I'm saying? You may breed that motherfucking everything may be gold off of him. You know what I'm saying? We have those exceptional animals that are three-way crosses, that are four-way crosses, that did go on to be POR or ROM. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, but just looking at it from everything even point of view, and just hypothetically speaking, I want to know everything is off or goes back to a particular animal or a particular pairing of a male and a female that all this good shit comes from.
Right. I
You know what I'm
would
saying?
say with definitely with the cross versus the everything is one, like you said, you going from a bucket full to a teaspoonful, you know what I'm saying, on what you
Correct.
want. But with
Yeah.
the
So now
cross, go
when I
ahead,
stick my hand in that bucket, I got a better chance of grabbing something out of this bucket because all this shit damn near the same thing versus I got a bucket full of different shit and I didn't take my hand. I don't know what I'm pulling out of there when I got my eyes closed.
Right, right.
I'm just hoping what I grab is good.
With the cross, I would like I said, this could only work like if you know what you looking at and the history behind it, you know what I'm saying, your lineages of your animal.
Correct.
If what
Correct.
you know when you now this four-way cross, it's a lot of different aspects that make this animal. But if I
Correct.
know what aspect that I like of this animal and where that aspect come from, then I
I
could
can.
move forward going
Correct.
that way, you know what I'm saying,
Correct.
or whatever other aspect that you like of this animal. Now you got to realize though, when you do that, it you might not be getting the same type of animal from this complete three-way cross because you lean more towards, you know what I'm saying, one way.
Correct.
And once you go
Correct.
back, once you go out again, you it's the party back on. They got
Correct.
the kids back out, you know what I'm saying? They got the whiskey bottles back out and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus like now when it comes to like you said, battle cross, three-way cross or whatever, you will be more successful breeding towards traits. So let's say the dog you got, he's a three-way cross and he shows me ABC. Now, regardless of not saying regardless, but for the most part, the dogs I put up under him, they need to have the same ABC. I can't have this dog, he ABC, but this bitch, she XYZ. So now I got a whole bunch of different letters that I got to mix and match and try to put together versus when it comes to dealing with a whole bunch of dogs that might be 1, 2, 3. This motherfucker might be 1, 2, 4. This motherfucker might be 3, 4, 5. But I'm still all within the same few numbers. So now I
Right.
don't got to worry about dealing with numbers. This bitch is letters because I'm trying to
Right.
catch XYZ. So when it comes to that battle cross, now I'm just simply breeding on traits. This heavy mouth dog,
Mhm.
I'm breeding with the heavy mouth dogs. It's the game dog. I'm breeding the game dogs to lock in what's making this. If this dog is known to be heavy mouth, this is what makes him special. I want to keep that mouth off of him going. I'm only putting him on bitches that are heavy mouth. If his gameness, his smartness, his natural air is what's making him special, regardless of the bloodlines, I'm breeding him to that physical trait and putting bitches under him that are heavy mouth or long-winded dogs or that are smart dogs to make sure I lock in that particular trait that I'm seeing versus if I got a bunch of Eli dogs coming out in different ways, and all these bitches gonna be pretty much the same dog, and that's what making them dogs special. So, and again, like I say, just looking at it from a hypothetical point of view, because again, there are some exceptional producing dogs that were three-way crosses and things like that. So, but if I had to choose, give me the family bred dogs, whether it's coming off a particular animal or a particular breeding pair, and I can I'll be okay finding my way, quicker, I think, going that way versus a three-way cross. Now I got to figure out what part of the three-way cross is making him special.
I can dig that.
You know.
Yes, sir, because you're going to be lost in the sauce, in the blind, in the woods, in the deep woods with no flashlight or no boots on.
Yeah.
Man, no
Now,
compass.
now I'll produce some great animals because again, I'm throwing, that cross is what it is. But then we start talking about the reproduction part of it. Where am I getting my reproduction from? You get your reproduction from by locking in particular traits that each individual dog has shown you come up with family. That's where you get that reproduction from. They continue to produce or carry on a particular gene pool or genetic makeup, phenotype, with a genotype, whatever you're trying to lock in and move forward with, in my opinion. That's why you see a lot of breeders stay within a dog or pair. Tom, we already know what that is. All that shit goes back to Frisco or China for the most part. Now you got the Spike dog, which is different. But even with the Spike dog, the Spike is a snooty dog, right?
All right.
So even when you look at Spike and Chinaman is a snooty grandson. So you still quote unquote talking the same dog, even though Snooty is not a Chinaman dog. He still got common ancestry that Chinaman had, which is the Snooty in him. So Tom is still right there when we start talking the Spike dogs, the Frisco dogs, and the dogs he used up there. It's all still the same shit. When we look at Al White, all that shit was tab, 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 tab. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, after so long, his expectation for what he's supposed to get manifested every time because he know what he's looking for. You know what I'm saying?
I done produced these puppies. This particular genetic, this dog, I done seen after a while. I done seen these genetics in multiple litters, but multiple dogs. So now I know what the fuck I'm looking at. Versus you looking at it for the first time, trying to figure out what makes special and knowing which bitch to put with this male. And I got to do the trial and error. That's what make those great breeders great breeders. They focus on that one dog and just ran forward, or a particular breeding pair and just ran forward with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mac
Even with
Man
Pat
say,
Patch with the Bolio dog, all that shit was Bolio. You know what I'm saying? Bolio.
yeah. Mac Man say, Bullet Son arts missing for me. Look at the foundation it created. Shit, I can't disagree with that, Mac. That Bullet
You
Son
know,
arts missing foundation. That's big. You take that out, it's a big gap.
you
They
know.
talk shit about Bullet Son, Scrub, and all that, but you take that away, and then it's a big oops. It get real dark.
Real quick, get dark
Yes,
real
sir.
quick.
Yes, sir, man. Shout out to Floyd, man. Shout out to Floyd. Shout out to Honorable Mr. Brujo, man. Shout out to Running Boys, man. You know them men, I can only hope to have a legacy like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody talk about me when it's all said and done. What you think, Mr. John?
Hey, shit, you can't even, man. It's shit. What he mean. Just for me, personally speaking, and got just me. What he meant to the game, and the dogs that are still out there carrying the work. I mean, you can't really put the shit in words when we talk about what we know as American Pit Bull Terrier. His impact.
That's a
You know,
fact.
they talk about that Mount Rushmore.
Mm.
My Mount Rushmore, him, Mr. Maurice. Ooh,
Ooh.
man. It
Yeah,
gets a lot of
them
there's a lot
last
of
two,
resumes. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of,
it gets
yeah,
sticky now. It gets
because you
sticky.
got to
It's a
think
lot.
with even with the Carver dog. Think about the yard that was built and the strand that was built coming down just with the Carver. You know what I'm saying? The Carver stuff. So it's a lot of there's a lot of resume. His resume stands above all, even above Maurice. Um,
Who
you can't even put him. And again, it's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't put him when it comes to breeding dogs, just as a breeder and producer of genetics. I don't put him on a list. You can't put him on a list with nobody. You can't say he won two, this person second behind. It's just you put him over here. Kind of like we talk football. People talk about the greatest football players ever. People bring up a name like Lawrence Taylor. You don't even. You just don't even mention that shit. Cause like, what can you say? To say, oh, what makes him great? You just take him and just put his ass over there, and the rest of y'all figure this shit.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Damn, I
he
was sitting here trying to think of the four for the Mount Rushmore, but ooh, it's tough, man.
it's tough. Because again, you got a lot of I don't want to say new ways, but people that are generations down from him that you know did their thing with the dogs, and like you can put Tom. I put Tom on that list when
I
we talk
said that's
about
what I was just
resume
gonna say. I go, I'm gonna
as a
go,
breeder.
I'm gonna go Floyd. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put Patrick in there. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put,
forgot about Patrick. Yeah,
I'm
put
gonna
him in
put,
there.
I'm gonna put, shit. I'm gonna put Tom in there. That last spot, I don't know. You could go balls. You could go, man. Is that last
Is it-
spot? That last
because
spot,
I
man.
look at it like this. There are certain dogs. You got Bolio, you got Red
Well,
Boy.
hold on, but then you damn. See if you do that, man.
But this is what I'm saying
You
though.
missing out on Carver. We missing out
No, no,
on
no, no.
golly.
But
Ooh.
that's what I'm saying. Like when I look at the game, because you really can't outside of Mr. Floyd, and you got people like Mr. Kobe, and that's a whole generation. Not him, but I look at the game in the aspects of you got the Bolio and like we talk about Dabo, them older dog, Black Widow. I remove them from the conversation. But when I look at Bolio, when I look at the game, Bolio, Red Boy, Eli, those three dogs themselves. I'm trying to think of a fourth dog, but them three right there. Can we say are the game that we know it as today?
Who you say? Bolio, Red Boy, Eli.
Bolio, Red Boy, Eli, those three dogs. I'm doing my top three. Them three dogs. We talking about the modern generation. No, we know Dabo, Black Widow, and all the Kobe dogs and the imports. Not counting that
Yeah,
generation of
that's the
dogs, but
generation
just
before. We talking about the
the
generation,
yeah,
our generation.
just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
modern, the modern. I say the
Modern
modern
generation.
generation.
Yeah.
What we know as the American Pit Bull Terrier, because we know they were Amstabs and Terriers that were brought over. But what we know as the American Pit Bull Terrier, I throw Eli, Red Boy, and Bolio. Them three dogs right there. If we think about the game, all the different champions and grand champions and this family of dogs and this man and that man, them three dogs right there, what they don't touch.
Ooh, we got somebody in the chat say wild side of the best. You know what I'm saying? I can
You
agree
can throw
with
him up
that.
there.
I
Yeah.
ain't, we can't turn down wild side calling neither,
Yeah.
Man,
I mean, you
like I
got
said,
Al, you got, it's a lot of names
it
that
gets
you could throw
sticky,
in that,
man. It
that
get
pot.
real sticky.
That's
It
why
gets
I don't look
sticky.
at it as far as the breeder, because there's a lot of breeders that create a lot of great family. I just look at it as those three dogs. When I think about the game, man, what we know is the American Pit Bull Terrier. Because again, without those three dogs, is there any anything, any aspect of the game, which is breeding or performing, that them 3 dogs don't touch.
They gonna be in most lineage somewhere creeping up
So
somewhere around the corner.
somewhere,
But they
you
gonna
know what I'm
be in
saying?
there.
They're gonna be in there. Because even when you think about the Red Boy dogs and all the cross, you got the Red Boy G. You think about Grand Champion Yellow, his legacy. Still talking the Red Boy dog, right? When we talk
Right.
about the Eli dog, everything Tom is done, everything Floyd is done, everything Bobby Hall is done, everything Ronnie Boyles is done, everything you name them. The Eli dog is the backbone. Mr. Clem is the Eli dog is the backbone or plays a significant part in their legacy. The Bolio dog, like he plays a big. I put him right there with those 2 dogs. When we talk about dogs on that ROM list and all the great dogs of the year and the performers out there, them 3 dogs touch a lot of yards. Them 3 dogs touch. Not saying they touch everything, but they touch. They got their market share. You know what I'm saying? They touch a lot of shit.
Yes, sir.
We
Not
think about
saying
people
that
like
it ain't other lines, you know what I'm saying? International lines and so on and so forth. But that
mhm.
Eli's so prolific, man.
It's prolific.
It's a Mexican Eli. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole
you know
foreign
they
line. It's
get
a whole
they
foreign line of that.
yeah
Just
they
that.
yeah like the
You know.
dogs we see today, the foreign line of dogs that we see today, they got that Eli in them. Not even the Mexican dog. Just some of them dogs overseas.
Yeah.
Great dogs that got the Eli stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he touched a lot of shit. Like I say, not saying he touched everything, but
Mm.
that dog touched a lot of shit.
Yes, sir.
Like even when we talk
Happy
about
360. Bad batch. Who else I see in here? SBC Kenner. What it do?
like even when we say
Mm.
we talk about today, some of the more current dogs. Like we look at the Karada and that legacy of dogs. You know, you got Bullison right there.
Yes, sir.
Bullison, you know what I'm saying? Bullison is in here, you know.
Yeah. Rudy said Klaus Zeke would be the fourth dog I would add. The
But the
Zeke
only
is
reason I
definitely
don't
is
but the
important. Go
reason I
ahead.
don't bring up but the reason I don't bring up Zeke because you got Bolio.
Yeah.
Bolio has a greater legacy outside of his side. Klaus Zeke is his claim to fame. I ain't gonna say claim to fame. I don't want to use that word, but when we look at Klaus Zeke, we associate that only with the Bolio dog.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing like you got Michael Jordan, you got Michael Jordan daddy. Who's more profound? Michael
Yeah.
Jordan or his daddy? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. I want the Jordan. I want Jordan. I know a daddy made
You
him,
know what I'm
but give
saying?
me Jordan.
So that's the reason I say Bolio because that encompasses Zeke and everything behind Bolio. Because Bolio is the epitome of he's Zeke's greatest accomplishment. Producing my son is my greatest accomplishment. He surpassed me as a stud dog. His legacy as a stud dog is greater than my legacy as a stud dog.
Ooh. Max say Baker Davis, Burt Searles, David Tent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gravy is too many. I said it get too murky. You know what I'm saying? It's sharks in
Mm-hmm.
the water out there. They, when you
Yeah,
go to talking about putting them on the ground, I think some have a more profound legacy, but it's a lot of them that done had a long lasting legacy and got their own line of dogs. So you know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody who been
yeah,
putting them on the ground for years and years, many moons, like the old folks say.
correct. So like even when we look at the boomerang dog, right? There's no boomerang without who? Maurice Carver.
Yeah.
So when we talking about as far as the legacy of, I mean, you can throw Tudor name in there because of the Dabo dog, but
Gotta put
I, I
Earl on
still
there,
I
man.
still I put Earl in that generation of Earl, and I put him with Mr. Kobe. That first I call it first generation. I put him back there with them guys. The Tudors, the Cavinos. What's another guy? Klowowski. Them guys. Mr. Hemp
Mm-hmm.
Hill with the red with the old family. I put them in that first generation
You boy throwing them
because
names.
yeah,
And then
this, those,
Sonny, Joe
you know,
Corvino.
Mr.
Ooh.
Heinzel. Those are
Yeah.
guys in that first generation. Not coming right off that first generation. Like I said, what we know it because they were still dealing with, even though they were pit bulls, they were still dealing with a lot of Amstaffs as well. That transition was being made when those guys were putting that mix together. So I put them in that first generation of setting the bricks. You know what I'm saying, for the game. We're just looking at the people that put the A frame up and the walls up and did the wiring and you know what I'm saying, pulled this, shit like
Ooh.
that.
Then here
Them
go
guys,
great.
them guys pulled the slang.
Hey, Miss JJ did. Here go Gravy talking about or Bolio had brother Bull. See Gravy. See you open that can of worms up. So I'm just finna it
So
was
it's
a little
bull. Go
huh.
ahead, go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We had a little turbulence in the water, but it's a great, outstanding, major news alert behind that dog right there. You know what I'm saying? And we just gonna try to bring something to fruition with that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, our ears get blessed with the news that we can use about that bulldog and what's behind it. Some secrets that need to be shared with the great um society and our neighborhood, the Bulldog Network, you know what I'm saying, the university, the peers,
Yeah,
I didn't do it, Gravy, you did it. I want to hear something about that Bulldog.
yeah. So that's how I look at the gang. Like you said, because it's outside of those guys. The Tudors and the Kobe's and the Mr. Heinzels. I throw Mr. Ed Crenshaw in there. Mr. Lightner, like I said, Mr. Hemp Hill. Those guys.
Ooh, ooh,
They.
Henfield, Bob
You
Wallace.
know,
Oh man,
yeah,
it's
Mr.
so many.
Wallace. With them red dogs. They only wanted red dog, red toenails, red eyes, red nose. Them guys. That's that first generation. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like you look at basketball. You got the George Mikens and you got the Bill Russells and Will Chamberlains. Them guys, you just put them over there because we can't. It all be the game begins with those guys. We put them over there. Just bringing it a couple of generations forward. We start talking about the Dr. J's and the Michael Jordans and the Magic Johnsons. We talking about that group of breeders and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, because it
Mm-hmm.
kind of goes in section. Because there is no Floyd without those guys. There's no Maurice
Facts.
without those guys. So we can. You always got a point behind the point that you starting at, but you got to kind of
It's
bring
just
it up a
like
little. Break it up
it's
a little.
just like we talking about the men in the pedigrees, and it's just like the dogs in the pedigree.
Pedigree.
It,
Yep, yep,
it every time you bring up a dog, you inadvertently bringing up
yep.
all the lineage behind that dog.
Correct. That's like saying when we talk about the red boy dog, now we're talking for the most part, Katie Marlowe. Her significance when it comes to that breeding that red boy dog and that shit today. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? She don't get her. We talk more about red boy because her main focus was red boy. There was no Marlowe family dog. There was no Marlowe dog like we talk about Boudreaux dogs. Boudreaux had different dogs that made up the Boudreaux family. He put his name on it. Katie Marlowe, we was going to associate with that one dog, which was the first Battle Hall of Fame, we know is Tramp Bass, Tramp Red Boy. So you can go different ways. That's why I try to break it up in those three dogs: the Eli dog, the Red Boy dog, and that Bolio dog.
Ooh. Ooh,
Now,
SBC.
now, now from there you can go shit. We can really start moving forward, and this dog goes back to one of them three. That dog goes back to one of them three. You know what I'm saying? Versus individual breeders or handlers of those animals.
Ooh, SB Killers hit us with another one, Mr. John T. Moore. Ooh, you do a little research, you gonna that Moore name gonna pop up back there, ain't it, Mr. John?
So I mean, it's a lot of them first generation guys. It's just you can't really fathom what they meant because they were dropping them off the boat.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? We can't go back that far when they dropped them off the boat. But coming forward, you know, I look at those three dogs, and like you said, with the current events with the Eli dog and his significance, and the man that associated with that dog, that's a large market share of the game. That without that man and that dog, it'd be a whole lot of empty pedigrees out here.
I agree.
A lot of empty pedigrees. So people like that. Like I said, just the conversation we had about who's a legend, why is this person a legend. There are certain people that when their name come up, you don't have to have a debate on where they stand at the game. You know what I'm saying, or where they should be ranked. It's just there is no ranking. They just are who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Talk of the city kennels. What's up with it? We shopping. We got the honorable Mr. Jiggs in here. Spin major game. You know what I'm saying? We at the U, shocking and rocking. Popping it, doing what we do. But yeah, man, I agree, Mr. JJ, man. A lot of, it's a lot of ins and outs, ups and downs, a lot of frowns, back
Mm-hmm.
turning when it comes to the Eli strand of dogs. But OG call, I'm keeping him. Uh, like you say, a big hole lost without him.
You know what I'm saying?
It's irrefutable.
Yeah. Because you got to
Man.
think his legacy, the Eli dog and Mr. Floyd, is the direct backbone the Bulldog Hill.
Hmm.
Take Eli out of the mix, there's no Bulldog Hill.
They say, it was just the old rumor. Don't quote me. It's just the old rumor. But if you sit back and observe, it kind of makes sense. That it was once said that was kind of one of his circles. Tom, Miss K Lens, White Oak Biters, and you had
Yep, yep. Them dogs, yep.
it was one more person, Tom K Lens, and who else had them Floyd dogs like that? Um,
I mean, you could throw Fat Bill in there, He had a
um,
relationship with Mr. Floyd and some of his dogs.
oh, Tom. It was Tom, Miss K, and Phil. That's what it was. That
Mhm.
triangle right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They were the people. They had a lot of them direct dogs. You know what I'm saying? Off of Floyd top
yeah,
studs.
yeah. Like even when you look at Maverick, you talking Reno was a son of Maverick, Skull was off of Maverick,
Hmm.
and you had Clemens, the Dick dog, was a Maverick son, which is a lot of Mr. Clemens dogs. You know what I'm saying? So the Skull, that's a significant. That ain't counting the females that are behind a lot of these dogs. You know what I'm saying? The Boudreaux females that are behind a lot of these dogs that we make. We're failing to mention at this moment, but there are a
Hmm.
lot of females um, that people bred to that are Boudreaux bred females or females that he bred that were significant to him and his in the backbone of the Boudreaux legacy. Females that don't get there,
Hmm.
they're just do.
That's a fact.
So and like I said, he just one of them names that when they come up like talking about Lawrence Taylor. Like shit, what the fuck can you say that ain't already been said? You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
You know,
Yeah, SBC Killer. That's what I was talking about. Phil Epinet. That was one of my first encounters with the direct lineage of Floyd. And some other things.
you know,
Salute Mr. Phil. Long live Phil too. He gave me a lot of game. I was just able to be around him. Just pick up what he was putting down as a dog man. So salute
yeah.
Phil and Epinet family. You know.
So you know,
What we got on here?
never met the man in person. You know, so I never had a chance to go to a dog show. To meet him. You see people, see him at dog shows. Everybody got their picture. They got a break stick signed by him or something like that. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
those things now, especially like memorabilia, like break sticks, or if he signed a picture for,
Mm-hmm.
she almost like Michael Jordan signed a basketball for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. It was I'm glad you said that, Mr. JJ. We should, they got that South Bottom coming up, I
Oh yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
that last one, something was happening. I don't know, something going on, I didn't go, but we
He
should
was there,
all.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
Was he
we
there?
should. Yeah, that last one, we should all.
Yeah,
He was. We should all. You know what I'm saying? These dog events. You know what I'm saying? When the legends popping out, rub your
yeah.
shoulders with them because you don't know. We all got a time. So
Yo,
you don't
yeah,
know
we
when
all
your
gotta
day
go.
gonna get called. So
Yeah,
you shouldn't miss out on the opportunities to get to
correct,
be able to
correct. That's
meet
like
some of
even
these
today,
guys.
with the roster mans or the
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
Kenos and these guys, the brothers that are at these dog shows, when you get
That's
get
the
a chance to talk to them or shake their hand or take a picture with them, they let you. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can
man.
have as a
That's
fancy of the game. You know what I'm saying? That's what I am. I'm a fancy of the game, the history of the game, um, stories, because that's what got me. Learning the stories and
yeah, yeah,
listen
yeah.
to you know what I'm saying. Listen to the old men talk.
I'm willing to say Big JJ, that's the reason why you got Breaker and Mr. Jones on Board
Stories,
Out Network on the front street, you know what I'm saying?
his
Because of
stories,
the
his
stories and being
stories,
able to meet
and
people, you know what I'm saying?
history.
So
So you can
yeah,
ask them questions. Why did this breeding happen? And be able to listen to this old man tell you why this breeding happened. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. They hung themselves and they went on. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah.
ask those questions. You know what I'm saying? Pick their brain, and you never know a simple conversation, a statement from them could change the trajectory of your entire program. You know what I'm saying? For the better.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know.
Man, the man feel, man, like I said, from him having his own kennel supply store. I seen him make his own dog food,
Yeah.
all the everything you need for an animal, all different type of animals. Being able to
Yeah.
pick his brain, ask him about stuff, see his yard.
Cool.
Man,
You know.
dogs
It's like
directly dogs directly off champions and rooms, you know what I'm saying?
correct.
You might be able to find one, off a champion
Correct.
or winner,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, a title dog, but it's different when it's a title and it's a room, you know what I'm saying? So
Correct.
being able to see that and I was like, damn, then when you get a little older and you really kind of know what's going on and he's going, he was being elder, man. I see him at a local restaurant or something, and man, I might just sit outside and wait till the guy come outside just to ask him a question. I wouldn't go in there, I wouldn't finna go in there and disturb his dinner or nothing like that. But I
Correct.
got 15, 20 minutes to wait just to, get a
Yeah.
get a question answered I wanna need, you know what I'm saying, need answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
he
say,
never turned me down.
you never know, especially them older men that young fella ask you a question, they got time, like you say, you don't want to interrupt their day, they probably their whole life is dogs, and they probably that don't want to talk dog, 'cause they've been talking dog all their life, but to come in contact with a young guy and he got a question, just probably just to recognize who they are, just things like that. Even with me, I used to
Yeah,
travel around
yeah,
with my
yeah,
OG. When I
yeah.
used to travel
Facts.
around with my OG, and him and his partners be talking about dog, I would sit there and just soak up game and try to pick up whatever they were putting down. Because what they have done, I'm trying to trying to do. Right at the time I was trying to get started and fresh out dealing with American Pit Bull Terriers back in shit. Like I said, it was like 02, 03. And just moving around at that time and going places that I probably wouldn't have went to if I would just come in cold turkey by myself. But having my OG being able to go into certain rooms or get certain people on the phone and have certain questions. Then when I look at damn near 20 years today, getting back in and being able to recognize certain things and personal experience, have put my hand in the dirt and plant some seeds and my own experiences, you know, And for what little bit of experience I do have, to share it with whoever, Like I said, I'm no Floyd or no Super Kenner or no Ricky Jones and nobody like that. But for the little experience I do have, it may help somebody, it may not help somebody. It's just my experiences, what I'm saying, for what they are.
Fact.
But to be able to be around, certain older breeders and still see certain dogs, oh, that's champion such and such. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen this dog in pedigrees 1,000 times, but to see this motherfucker walking in front of me, it kind of
Right.
crystallized everything I seen in that pedigree or the stories you may have heard about the particular dog and the exploits of the dog and shit like that. So, like I said, just as a fancy of the game, I wish, I could have had the opportunity, like I see people post their pictures or had a 5 minute, like you said, 5, 15 minute conversation with the old man and pick his brain and ask him about certain things, even though I didn't run Eli or Boudreaux dogs, but just to get some game from somebody who done it all, seen it all. You know what I'm saying? It
Man,
carries
that's
it carries a
crazy.
little bit,
That's
carries a little bit
crazy.
of weight.
Okay, there's a
So
lot
that's
of
what I'm
weight. That's
saying. Like, yeah. I used to be one of them people, oh man, I ain't going to the pig and I ain't going. But now, getting back in and seeing, the super kennels and the roster man booms and these older guys, your twins, throwing them, putting them in there, seeing them out still living, hearing like Schoolboy and, the different interviews we can find online of men 20 years ago. All I knew was their name on the pedigree, but to be able to, for the ones that are still here, to hear them tell their story, their history, you know, as an older guy getting back in, it does mean a little bit more to be able to hear those stories and understand concepts and why they did this and why they did that. I think it will help me as getting back in or any new breeder, even though you're not dealing with those very same dogs they had, still breeding dogs is breeding dogs. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Knowing
Them
what a
people
good
got
dog
some.
is.
Them people got some news you could use, man.
Correct. You ain't like I said, we ain't doing nothing that already been done without dogs. The names on the pedigrees are just different, that's all.
Oh, who we got in here? We got okay, Mike Dan. I see you. Hammer on the nail. Who that talking? That's Mr. JJ talking, man. Uh, man. Mr. JJ, it was crazy. We was talking about that again. I was talking to my cousin the other day about that Fields thing. Remember we was talking on the back street. I told you they was one of the first ones to actually get a dog from Field. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
asked him about it the other day. He said he actually seen it in the newspaper. He said he seen it ad in the newspaper, pit bulls for sale, blase, blase, blase. And
Uh,
our other partner actually kind of knew what the address was. And one day they had seen it in the newspaper, and then they rolled by and seen the people with some dogs. So they pulled up. They got the dogs. And guess what the dogs were? Guess what they was
what's
off
that?
of? The
Some of his
dogs
stuff?
were the dogs were off of Raging Cajun and Wicked Witch, man.
Okay.
This, this, this. I'm gonna show you the pedigree. You know what I'm saying when we get off, man. And these were just like you know what I'm saying. You know they were pit bulls, but you know they wouldn't. They should have been held in high regard when they wasn't getting held in high regard. I say that, but you could tell that they was great animals though.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
And looking back on it, if you know if one knew then what we know now, you like oh my god.
Correct.
What what a way to miss out on a huge opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 'cause I ain't gonna lie. I look at some of the dogs, the pedigrees of some of the dogs I had when I first was out there buying dogs and getting dogs. And you don't really you know what you're looking at, but you don't know what you're looking at. And then as you come forward years later and this that, be like, damn, I had some nice bred dogs. Coming off of these men of honor that we speak of, like I said, the Super Kennels and the Ricky Jones and the Roster Man Booms and these guys and the Floyd Boudreaux and the Pat Patricks and these dogs are like directly from some of the dogs are like directly out of their hands, breeds they put together that I had the opportunity of getting puppies out of a particular breed through a third party or things like that. So some tant dogs. My OG, he bought dogs bred directly to stuff directly from Mr. Ten. Was able to deal. Some of my first dogs were dogs that were produced at his house. Stuff directly off of that. So it's kind of full circle, and you get the dogs a little bit more. Not to say you don't get the dog respect regardless of how they breed, because all of them gonna get respect regardless of what the paperwork say. But it just gives me just a little bit more vigor to understand, study a little bit more, try to find out as much as I can about the genetics and what made this dog good and what this dog didn't do and did do. So now as I come forward, I know to say, hey, now if I go this way, I know I'm getting this, this, and this. If I go this way, I'm getting this, this, and this, versus just saying, oh, it's a Patrick dog. All Patrick dogs are the same. All Patrick dogs aren't the same. Now I got to do my work to find out this strand of Patrick stuff, what am I getting? This strand of Patrick stuff, what am I getting? So now as I'm breeding or evaluating what I want to get or purchase or breed to, I can make better breedings, I can make better purchases, I can make better breeding pairs by understanding a little bit more of what exactly am I dealing with, because all tant dogs ain't the same dog, even though the name say tant. Each individual dog has its own story and its own thing it can provide you or not provide you. Same thing with Mr. Floyd and his dog. You got the Maverick, you got different strands of Boudreaux dogs. So now, as a Boudreaux breeder or somebody who's looking to add a Boudreaux dog or whatever, now I got to do my job. Okay, this particular strand of Boudreaux dog, what is it? What do I get from it? Do I need this? Do I need to add this? Do I need to stay away from this? Now I can make better breeding pairs of breeding. Yeah, I can make better breeding pairs or better evaluation of my dog in 2025 from understanding what was done in 1965, 1975. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You talking? That's a fact.
So it's just loving the game and just trying to be better at the game. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Man, we coming up on about that 2 minute album, man. I think we just wanted to get a quick, quick cook up, man. Salute the big homie Mr. Floyd on his final scratch, you know what I'm saying?
On the final stretch.
On his grand
R.I.P.
courtesy scratch, man. He came across, you know what I'm saying? No legs at all, man. Came across on his stomach, took hold, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta salute that, man. Dead game. Um
R.I.P. to the
uh
Godfather.
Long live Mr. Floyd, long live Mr. Running Boys, long live all the other people. Who was that? Mr. Coy earlier this year.
Yep, 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 yep.
Mr. Tybo, Thibodeau, Mr.
Thibodeau,
Thibodeau, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Mr. Thibodeau, yeah. We had a couple
Yeah.
right
Um
kind of right there together. Mr.
Everybody, you know
Thibodeau,
what I'm
Mr.
saying?
Coy, Mr. Balls, what? A couple of days ago?
Yes,
Last week?
yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Everybody we
Mr.
done
Floyd.
lost. And
Yeah,
also shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everybody who blazing their trail trying to become legendary and do it in the right way, you know what I'm saying, create their own line and family, you know what I'm saying. We salute that, It's the Bulldog
correct,
Network, man. We rocking and shocking, you know what I'm saying, rolling. This is what we do. We just cook up.
correct.
Correct, man. We signing off. You got something you need to say, Mr. JJ?
Oh,
Who
nah,
else we
like I
got on
said,
here real quick?
just
Yeah.
piggybacking on what you're saying, just RIP to the Godfather and what he was able to contribute to the game. And, from all reports of things I've heard, always being a gentleman, being a man, most above all, a dog man, being a man, you know what I'm saying? So, never met him personally. I heard people that met him and, never had a bad experience with him. So,
Yes,
that
sir.
says a
Yes,
lot.
sir.
You don't hear
Salute
no,
it.
you don't hear them horror stories when it comes to either doing business with him. I haven't heard them yet, or anybody's, saying they had a bad experience with the old man, whether doing business or when they met him, anything like that. So that says a lot of his character outside of, these dogs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute that. Triple salute that. Big salute that. You know what I'm saying? No Floyd. Like he said, it's a hole in the game. You know what I'm saying? And black we trust. You know what I'm saying? We betting on black. We call him a spade. You know what I'm saying? He created a lot of spade,
The more black dogs.
Yeah, well, yeah. Uh, that's what it is. Hate it or love it. Hard but
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, yeah.
It's
You're right.
it's irrefutable.
More black dog. More black Eli dog.
Salute that, man. We out of here.
Peace.
Yes, sir. What we doing? What that was straight. That was a straight one, Rudy. I had to get it. I had to get off real fast. You know what time it is, man. I gotta roll up, goddamn me. What, what we doing? What we doing? Gravy? What we doing? I see you, man. I see. I know how to make you incorporate you like how you want to be incorporated. You know what I'm saying? Okay then. I had to it was a little nice little cook up. I had to get off of there. You know what time it is, man. You know, it was a great opportunity to get them guys their flowers, but to give us a good look too to move forward. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we pop out before everybody, you know what I'm saying? Besides some, you know what I'm saying, you know, the fast ones on the net, popped out clean, good. Yeah, that might have been, yeah, it was a little quick little body. Yeah, Yeah, man, ain't that man. I could do it with my eyes closed, man. You know. Yeah, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing, man. You know, I just know what needed to be done and I handled it. You know, it wasn't that, you know. That's why I'm here for. I appreciate man, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna try to keep doing the same shit, you know, all the time. Hey, Mac, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, boy. What you said is it's four up there already, no wind chill or nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I know you with it. I know you with it. Mhm. Hey, hey, Mr. James, see, hey, Matt, great. Hey, hey, Gravy, Mr. Jones, one of them dog, man. You take him to the to the movie, and then you know they say they say, hey man, you got anything else for this black dog? Boy, go to turn their back and stuff, going to the car. Super game, man. I'm talking about the. I'm talking about. Yeah, Wi-Fi. Hey, Mac. This why I told my nigga last night. I was out there doing them right. I tell him, I said, hey, y'all know what this is right here? He said, what's this is? I said, this mobile bungee, nigga. This Wi-Fi kennels. I'm connected. Nigga start laughing like a motherfucker, man. Hey, Mac, you gave us the rest of the energy we need with the information in the chat. You and rooted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Did you call your mom? Oh, you had a ride. What? So she had that from work. Yeah. Hey, that's great. That plant. Hey, man, that plant base, ain't it? Vegetarian. Hey, Gravy. You gotta get let me know a week before. You know, I'm gonna do that with you too. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do that too. You know, that's my little yearly regiment. You know what I'm saying? Keep me very grounded. You mm-hmm. I do that life insurance policy got to be can it be a term or do it got to be full life?
Gravy. Gravy. Hey, hey.
And they gonna have a certain rate they got to pick the cotton at, or they just just pick the cotton.
What they do? What they do? Sick. What you talking about? Yeah.